Let's talk Oklahoma City Thunder because there was a moment late in the fourth quarter Monday night when the Paycom Center got just a little bit quieter than usual. Not silent, not nervous, but attentive. Memphis had trimmed what once looked like a comfortable Oklahoma City lead down to single digits. The kind of momentum that in past seasons might have invited rushed shots, forced hero ball, or that barely perceptible tightening that tells you a team feels the weight of the moment that they're in. And that feeling lingered for about two possessions. And then the Thunder did what elite basketball teams do. They got to stop. They ran clean offense. They generated the right shot. And just like that, the margin snapped back into place. Not with drama, not with theatrics, but with control. And by the final buzzer, Oklahoma City had secured a 119-103 win over the Memphis Grizzlies. They'd improved on their already absolutely absurd record and quietly reinforced something that's becoming harder to deny by the week. This team doesn't just win games, they control them. And that distinction matters more than almost anything else in the NBA. Because this wasn't a blowout masquerading as competition. It wasn't a highlight-heavy night destined to dominate debate shows. It was something more revealing and, frankly, more dangerous for the rest of the league. It was a professional win. It was a mature win, an emotionally disciplined win against an opponent that tried and failed to knock Oklahoma City off their rhythm. Championship teams are rarely defined by their best nights. They're defined by how they handle the nights where things threaten to wobble. And that's why this game matters a little bit more than it typically would. You start with SGA, not because of the box score, but because of the tone. Finished with 31 points and 8 assists, numbers that somehow feel almost routine by now for him. But what stood out wasn't the scoring total. It was his restraint. He didn't hunt the game. He stewarded it. When Memphis made its push, there was no panic, no forced pull-up, no extra dribbles, no attempt to reassert dominance. You didn't see the, hey, it's my turn possession designed to quiet the crowd. Instead, Shai just let the offense breathe. He trusted his reads. He trusted the spacing. He trusted his teammates. And when it was time to put the game away, he did it surgically, like one possession at a time. The kind of leadership that you don't demand attention. Those moments, everyone around you, it commands belief from them. And you can feel it in the arena. When SGA has the ball late, there's an assumption, not a hope, but an assumption that things are going to just be okay. And that's not normal for a player his age. It's rare. And it's the foundation of everything Oklahoma City has become. It's what separates this Thunder team from promising young groups of the past. It's not talent. Plenty of young teams have had talent. But it's the growth. It's that the real growth and even the shared growth. Because that is sustainable. That's sustainable growth. Jalen Williams, oh my gosh, you saw his dunk, right? This dude continues to evolve from complimentary scorer into something far more important. I mean, he is a true co-pilot to this ship. He punishes mismatches without forcing the issue. He makes extra passes instinctively. He defends multiple positions without losing engagement offensively. He doesn't need plays called for him in order for him to matter. He understands where influence lives in winning basketball environments. That's playoff basketball DNA. And it shows up in subtle ways. The timing of a cut, the decision to swing instead of shoot, the ability to absorb physical defense without disappearing. That's not potential anymore. That's reliability is what that is. And then you look at the bench. Off the bench, Oklahoma City continues to demonstrate something even harder to build than star power itself. That's trust. This isn't depth for the sake of bodies. This is depth built on role clarity. When players check in, possessions don't get hijacked. The pace of the game doesn't change, and no one presses in order to try to justify their minutes. This is what you're seeing in real time is culture revealing itself. That's coaching translating into habits. And that's why the Thunder, they don't flinch. And they didn't flinch when Memphis made things uncomfortable late. Now let's talk about defense, because this is where Oklahoma City has quietly separated itself. Memphis turned the ball over 23 times, and we've talked about Oklahoma's propensity to force turnovers. We see these numbers and we know 23 turnovers, not an accident. And it's not just about Memphis being sloppy. Oklahoma City forces mistakes because the Thunder defend with intention. They've got active hands, but they don't gamble. Rotations are sharp, but they don't overhelp. There's a clear understanding of when to apply pressure and when to contain. So this isn't about chaotic defense fueled by youth and athleticism. This is organized, connected, and repeatable. That's the difference between a defense that looks good in February and one that travels into the playoffs, May and June. Even during the run that the Grizzlies made, the Thunder didn't break down structurally. The Grizzlies they made tough shots. Those are the kind of shots that you can live with defensively because they didn't feast on blown coverages or miscommunications. They just knocked down contested shots. And when Oklahoma City needed stops late, guess what happened? They got them. They got them cleanly. No fouling, no scrambling, no panic, just execution. Those are championship habits. Now, of course, context matters, and you have to address this. Memphis was shorthanded. They're still searching for consistency. They're dealing with injuries, and they have identity questions. But elite teams, they don't play down to context. They don't apologize for who's missing on the other side. They don't let sympathy seep into execution. They don't allow should-win games to turn into coin flips. What the Thunder did on Monday night is they showed up. They did their job, and then they moved on to a bigger, more anticipatory type game right now, tonight, while I'm recording, against San Antonio. And that's exactly what Oklahoma City does. And they do it without expending emotional energy that they're going to need later. There was no chest thumping, no overreaction, no post-game declarations, just business handled correctly. And again, that's not youthful exuberance anymore. That's professional expectation. And I think this is where the bigger picture comes into focus.